Premier League in India. We've obviously heard of several players that are considering leaving. Well, in fact, it's happened. Adam Zampa and Kane Richardson have both left the IPL, or will be leaving the IPL, and they will be joining Andrew Ty and, in fact, Ravichandra Ashwin as well. So that's four of the players that have now left on the basis of the situation with the coronavirus pandemic in India. We have a number of other players that have left, Liam Livingston for other purposes regarding the bubble, but it seems to be now a growing list of players that have opted out to actually go about returning to their home countries or their home abodes, such as, again, Adam Zampa and Kane Richardson have decided to leave the IPL. On top of that, Andrew Ty and Ravichandra Ashwin, and I'm sure that list will actually grow, unfortunately, due to the pandemic getting worse by the day. There is nothing wrong with the consideration of what the BBL are actually talking about. The reality is that it's based on the fears of what is happening, not just in India, but the world. And I'm sure their families have all wanted them to come back to the safety of their homes, which I totally applaud. And I'm sure the BCCI and the IPL would also understand that. Again, there's no concerns about the way the bubble is being approached. They've handled it particularly well, the BCCI and IPL in general. We've had players such as Akshar Patel that have actually come down with the virus, Daniel Sams, but they've continued on. They've had various stages of recovery. Very delicate situation. We know what happened in say, the BBL or any of the Australian tournaments. If there's any player where they come down with the actual coronavirus, there was potential actually stopping that whole team. So these people are taking the initiative to actually go home prior to that being the case. Yet again, I'll repeat, Adam Zampa and Kane Richardson have both left the IPL on the basis of, obviously, the coronavirus and the need to be, I'm sure, with their loved ones. And again, that follows on from Andrew Ty and the likes of Ravichandra Ashwin. And there are probably going to be more, but we have to accept that. Hopefully it doesn't disturb the tournament. The tournament's been absolutely fantastic. We've had some amazing games. The Chennai leg is now finished. They're moving towards both Delhi and Ahmedabad, and then ultimately they'll have games in Bangalore and Kolkata. There may be consideration about the movements of players. We'll see. But at this stage, the tournament's still going on. We've had some 20 games, so we're actually 1/3 of the way through the tournament. That includes the playoffs. So 20 of the 60 matches have been undertaken. And I appreciate your time. The reality is that these breaking news reports I will bring to you on Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick when they come to hand, as well as any of the player interactions. We'll try our best to get them to you as soon as possible. So this is Norman Kochnick here for Eyes on Cricket with Norman Kochnick. Please subscribe and share through your WhatsApp channels as to this breaking news. Very significant news indeed, and it's ever growing. I'm sure we'll have more updates throughout the day and throughout the week on this particular matter. But yeah, that's me here at Norman Kochnick from Eyes on Cricket. Again, Adam Zampa and Kane Richardson have been reported as actually leaving the IPL, joining the likes of Andrew Ty, who has also decided, and obviously Ravichandra Ashwin, who is based in Chennai and played the game that, in fact, is staying in Chennai. So I applaud their actions, but yet again, it's an individual case by case at the moment, so we'll wait and see what happens into the future. So again, this is Norman Kochnick here, starting off. But I must also let you know some other news as well regarding my channel. We've been having a regular program at a bit after an hour after the end of the games. We'll continue to do that, but I'll also be introducing an actual morning update with the IPL, as it seems a better suited time for the viewers. So I'll have a further update. The likes of Anisha Tucker will be a part of that. Aparna Saini, Shapali Wirakoti, a number of great people will be with me. Obviously, a number of the Australian contingent can also be a part of that as well. So what are the new travel protocols in Australia? I think Abhi Patak is asking. Well, quite frankly, we're particularly lucky. We had a match yesterday of some 35,000 plus at the SCG, and I think it was around the 70 to 80,000 mark at the MCG. And there are no masks. The social distancing is back to a normal condition. There are no masks. We've had in Sydney, for example, upwards of 90 days with zero COVID cases, which is quite remarkable. We do have travellers coming back that have obviously, have actually approached our country. We've had a number of Indian people coming and expats travelling from Australia to, I think it's a location in Darwin, where they're held in a 14-day quarantine. And there have been a number of cases which actually have been positive there as well. And no concerns. Australia is in a very good situation. We've been very strict with our protocols. We're very lucky. but our hearts go out for the Indian population as well as the rest of the world. We're there for you. We'll help out in any way we can, and we support the desire to keep the IPL going, mainly because of its great balancing of how they can actually be able to allow people to have something to look forward to each day. It's been an amazing tournament. The first 20 games have been some incredible results, incredible performances. Chennai's now been left, as I said, we're going to both Ahmedabad, which will be interesting, as well as Bangalore, and then ultimately Kolkata will be involved as well. And that will be certainly, I should say Bangalore will come after that. There's actually Delhi and the likes of Ahmedabad now, with Bangalore and obviously Kolkata later, with the finals being in Ahmedabad. Now, Dan Christian, he's certainly, how valuable a player is he? He's the so-called whisperer for in any form of a Premier League match, whether it's CPL, IPL, whatever it might be, BBL. He has been a whisperer. He didn't play. He actually dropped a catch last night, which was disappointing. Now, the reason for them leaving, I'm pretty sure, I think Sartak Singh is asking, the reason for them leaving actually is predominantly based on the coronavirus situation, and they certainly have. We have to respect that and understand that if there's any fears and difficulty of getting home to Australia, they would like to be able to have that option. Why is Daniel not hitting the ball? Well, he will. Dan Christian, that is an invaluable part of the the RCB network. You would get that qualification certainly from the likes of Kohli and AB de Villiers and Maxwell. They've all very much applauded Dan Christian. He's a great whisperer. He's actually a magnificent player and has a Midas touch. Okay, he dropped a catch. They may have lost the game, not only because of his catch, but generally. The reality is that Dan Christian is an invaluable part of that team. And you watch the importance of him as the tournament grows. He may have perhaps added to the reason why they lost the match yesterday, but they haven't lost the championship yet. RCB will need Christian, Maxwell, AB de Villiers and Kohli all in their team because they've got a great team. Plus they've got a great bowling lineup as well. Let's not forget they've got a great bowling lineup in Z. So I'm very much happy with RCB. And I was been talking last night about the team structures. We certainly will see with now CSK playing out of their skin. They have really firmed with a great net run rate, being first at this particular point in time, with the likes of Delhi Capitals and RCB following not far behind. There's about a 4-point difference between the rest of the group. Mumbai Indians would still be favoured to be in that top four, with the likes of Punjab Kings and obviously Rajasthan Royals following. And amazingly, KKR and the likes of SRH are actually at the bottom of the table at this moment. They may not stay at the bottom, but they're going to be probably likely to be at the bottom four unless they get their act together very quickly. It was a very frustrating match between SRH and Delhi Capitals yesterday. SRH had their opportunity, went very, very close, but that power, the super over, as they call it, was unfortunately not in favour of SRH. Warner perhaps should have not opted to bat. It should have been Williamson and Abeso playing together. So yes, and there's a comment there, but today our country is facing a second wave. Tomorrow maybe another country. Sports should carry on taking precautions. Absolutely. No country is exempt from the virus at all. Australia's doing well at the moment, yes, but we had incredibly strict borders. We're very isolated distance-wise. We're very, very fortunate. In a country of the magnitude of India or Europe or America, it's not that easy. And I only urge you all to follow the rules as you know, keeping a distance, wearing masks, making sure that if you're not well, not to come in interaction with other people, stay at home, enjoy the cricket, watch these channels like I've got here and make sure that you actually enjoy what you're seeing because I think there's a lot of credit. So the time now in Australia is actually some 3 o'clock, which is in the world you're in, it's around 10:30. And I think I'll be bringing programs more regularly to these sort of time slots. Maybe about an hour or two early, we'll have an actual panel reviewing the previous day's play. Not unlike what I'm doing part of the game. I think the times I've been using have been rather late in most parts of the world. We'll continue to do that show, but I will add to it with this show. As you see now, it's live. We'll have guests that have expert knowledge from all walks of life, from all parts of the world, who can actually add value, who certainly have a lot to warrant the discussion. From fans that I have, right through to experts, right through to those that have got a vested interest in teams and in the IPL. Let's hope everything. Keep your fingers crossed that the IPL continues. I applaud the BCCI and the IPL network for continuing. Admittedly, they may lose more players, and that's a fair judgment, especially if there's any loved ones involved. They will make a point of wanting to spend time with them. We've heard of Sachin Tendulkar, of course, having come down with it, the parents of Dhoni. A lot of people, a lot of the guests that I have actually come on with similar problems as well. And I agree with Guru Acharya. Yes, it's very hard to control in India. It's very, very hard. And you've done an amazing job to control as best you possibly can. But you'll have spikes, you'll have waves. I'm unfortunate that we will have to face that in the world, not just in India, but throughout Europe, America, South America. Glitch there, guys, but we're back again. So we had a glitch there, so we're back on deck. So, all right, guys, all the best. As I said, Adam Zampa and Kane Richardson are just involved with other movements from Liam Livingston right through. So stay tuned, talk to each other very soon, and have a wonderful day. Again, expect more updates throughout the day.